So the other day I did a video with the top 10 reasons why I'm fully invested in Tesla stock. Today, I'm going to give you 10 more. And hope these are useful to you. Hope they benefit you. This is Randy Kirk. And if you like it, please like. If you would like to get more like this, subscribe so that you can be notified. Let's take a look. I think we'll go in opposite order again. Let's start with number 20. We'll call it number 10 for these purposes. Otherwise, I'll get confused because I'm old. So the number 20 reason, which would be the number 10 for today, reason why I am fully invested would be the integration of Tesla with the other Elon Musk companies. So that integration has so many benefits. Other companies don't have this. Look around, just start thinking about the other companies you might be invested in or are thinking about investing in. Does Apple have integration with 3 or 4 other companies that have huge amounts of skills and capabilities? Does Amazon have a couple of other companies that they have relationships with? Go down the list. Who else has this? So if Tesla needs some help with materials specifications or designing or developing new materials, they go over to SpaceX, where they have amazing materials people. Now, that doesn't mean Tesla doesn't have their own great materials staff. It just means that there's some additional folks over at SpaceX that can help them if they run into some kind of roadblocks, or they just need another set of engineers to be thinking about it. If they have a mechanical issue, I'm guessing that as this battery ramp has been taking place, there's probably been times where the engineers from the battery division have gone over to SpaceX and said, hey, what do you guys think? We've run into this issue. We've run into this problem. And this happens throughout the companies. All of the companies benefit from this. It's a moat unlike any other company that I'm aware of has, certainly at this level. So that would be number 10. Number 9 for me is Optimus. I would be invested in Tesla just for Optimus. Quite frankly, I think that Optimus makes the company right now, Optimus itself, if it was a separate company and people were investing in Optimus, I believe it would be worth $100 billion. Even in this risk-off atmosphere, I think that if it was presented in the right way, it probably would be a $100 billion opportunity there, or $100 billion worth of worth that the market would place just in Optimus. Now, maybe I'm a little bit ahead of myself, and maybe they need to show more robots working in actual factory situations. But I have a slight advantage over a lot of folks because I owned factories. Well, I owned one factory. I'm sorry. I owned a plastics manufacturing factory, and I've been a marketing and a business consultant for the last 15 years, and I've helped other factories to become more effective and efficient. So I do know something about buying equipment, setting up equipment, hiring people to run the equipment, creating molds, recreating molds, increasing efficiencies in factory settings. And I can tell you right now that my factory, my little plastics manufacturing factory, would have been in line right now for Optimus robots. Based on what I've already seen, I would have already put my deposit in. I would have been happy to pay $50,000, $60,000 for one Optimus robot. I would have wanted more than that, but I know that I was willing to pay $100,000 for something that would have done far less. And I've got YouTube videos that I've talked about this before. I just needed this one little machine to do this one little function. This is 30-something years ago that was going to cost me $100,000. They would not guarantee that it would work. They'd build it for me. They'd charge me the $100,000. They couldn't guarantee it was going to work. The Optimus robot could do the job that I needed right now. So I would pay $100,000 for it. I would have at least one and maybe two. And the beautiful thing about the Optimus robot is the Optimus robot would be able to do this with pretty much probably nobody really overseeing them, whereas this other automated process that I wanted to buy would have required at least one employee per shift to be there to oversee it. So yeah, I can already see, just based on what the robot did when it was presented, when it was when it was revealed, just what we saw then, I would already be a customer. So for that reason, and because I believe a lot of other people that have had manufacturing experience can see that the robot is already useful, I think that Optimus is a good enough reason to be fully invested in Tesla. Number 8, Robo Taxi. Robo Taxi is a lot closer to reality, and it's been put off and put off and put off, and people are quite upset and unhappy. But if you listen to Kathy Wood says, hey, she thinks it's going to happen, that there'll be robo taxis on the road by next year, in 2024. Other people are saying 2025. Guess what? If either one of those things are right, if it's 2024 or 25 or 26, if any one of those things are right, then the stock is worth $1 trillion right now. I mean, right? Am I wrong? If the robotaxi works, and by working, that means it will work anywhere in the world. You can put the cab down, the robotaxi, you can put it down anywhere in the world and it'll work. It'll get you from here to there. You use your cell phone, you order the robotaxi, it comes to your front door, it takes you where you're going to go and lets you off. It's at least $1 trillion company based on robotaxi alone. So based on the hope, just the goal, just the idea, just the thought that it's probably going to happen. If you drive in a FSD, we have an FSD car, we have a Model Y. If you drive in it, you know that it's close. It's not a matter of never, it's a matter of when. So right there, that would be enough reason for me. Number 7 reason that I'm fully invested in Tesla stock, or almost, is because of I want to be part of the story. I did the same thing when I was investing in Apple. I wanted to be part of the story. I could tell that the story was huge. There was no question in my mind at the first reveal of the first Macintosh. It was like, oh my gosh, this is the future. The first reveal of the first iPhone. This is huge. It's going to change. It's going to change the world. So not everybody, has that ability to understand that kind of futurism. And I'm not bragging or complaining. I just live there a lot. So as a futurist, I believe that everything that Musk is doing, everything that Tesla is doing is going to happen in the future, is going to be a critical elements of the future right down the line. I want to be part of that story. I want to be part of that story so bad that I've written 2 books on Elon Musk and that I'm now a YouTuber for Elon Musk and for Tesla. And I want to be part of the story, and being part of the story means, hey, I want to own stock so that I can feel that I'm in ownership. I'm an owner in this amazing story. Number 5, that would be, number 6, I missed one there. The transparency of Elon Musk. I want to be an owner just because of how transparent he is. So many people don't like him. They don't watch him. They're going off headlines. They're going off of maybe a headline and the subheadline, and maybe they read the first sentence of the paragraph, put out by NPR or put out by MSNBC or put out by journalists who didn't really go deep enough to understand the story. They're doing it based on their friends said. They're doing it based on some major leader said. They're doing it the fact that Joe Biden doesn't like it. They're going out based on some conservative that says, oh, it's going to destroy the oil industry. And when it destroys the oil industry, we won't be able to make it on electricity. And they think all the nonsense. The nonsense is just everywhere. And Elon Musk transparently goes out there and sits at hour-long and 2-hour-long interviews and goes through it all in detail in a way that you've never seen any other leader, any other CEO. You've never seen anything like this. If you have, please tell me in the comments that you've seen this before. There's nobody like this that is this transparent about his plans, about what's happening, about even the troubles and the difficulties that are part of the process. It's great and it's fun to watch. And that transparency makes me want to be an investor because it makes me trust. Transparency helps a person to trust another person. and therefore that's why I trust. Number 6, it's just tons of fun. This is probably true for you as well. I mean, it's just fun. I can remember when I was, 5 years old, 6 years old, and getting up in the morning and getting the newspaper because I'm going to tell you, well, okay, Stan Musial. You even know who that is? I want to see how many base hits he had, how many doubles, how many triples, because he was a big single, double, triple hitter. He wasn't a great home run hitter. He hit decent. I want to see what his average was. So I'm old enough to have gotten up in the morning and wanted to know how Stan Musial was doing that day. Today, I get up in the morning, I want to see how Tesla's doing. And it's even more fun because there's more moving parts and it's deeper and it's more interesting and it's more consequential. So it's just a huge amount of fun. And I'm not going to have all this fun and not also take part in the stock. So there you go. Number 4, I appreciate the sense of urgency. If you talk to anybody that knows me, I am all about the sense of urgency. Some of the folks that follow my YouTube videos don't like my sense of urgency because I'm not putting up charts on every single video. I'm not doing B-roll on every single video. I'm not getting them fully edited. I'm not doing any of those things because there's an urgency about getting this message out. So sometimes I do if there's time, but other times it's newsworthy and I want it out right now. I put it up raw, no editing, no B-roll, no fancy gimmicks. None of that. I have an editing team. My editing team is great. They're amazing. And sometimes if there's time, I let them do their editing. I believe in the importance of a sense of urgency appropriately applied. Elon Musk believes in a sense of urgency. That entire company it's pounded into them that everything is urgent. We need to get this done in 3 hours. We need to get this done by Monday. We need to get this done in a year, whatever it is. They have huge pressure, appropriate pressure to get the job done in this least amount of time because it matters. And that's how I ran my factories. And I love the fact that that's how Elon runs his. Number 3, first principles thinking. I had no idea what first principles thinking was before I started this journey. And I'm going to guess that a bunch of you don't know what first principles thinking is now. Either you've just joined, you're just starting to get interested in Tesla, so you haven't even heard of first principles thinking. Maybe you've been around for a while, but like me, you're like, what does it really mean? What is first principles thinking? And it's hard. It's hard to really get it. It's hard to really understand what first principles thinking is because all of us tend to think by analogy. We say, oh, well, there's a car. So if I want to build a car, I should build a car kind of like that car, but I'll make it a little bit better. That's how most humans think. Elon doesn't think that way. He takes the car, he says, well, I want to build a car and there's a car over there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to what does a car need? Does it need 4 wheels? Does it need 3 wheels? Does it need rubber tires? Could they be plastic? Should it be taller off the ground? Should it be closer to the ground? Should it be wider? Should it be taller? Should it be black? Should it be white? Can 4 people, do they all need 4 people to sit in them? First principles thinking says we're going to take whatever it is that we're going to build and we're going to start from scratch as if there had never been anything like this before. And we're going to see how many different ways that we can apply that kind of thinking to make it completely new, completely fresh, and completely better. That's first principles thinking in a nutshell. It's deeper than that and a little broader than that, but that'll be enough for today. Okay. But I love that. I love first principles thinking. Now that I understand it, I want to be an investor in it. Number 2, the agile approach. Agile manufacturing is an incredible new concept. Been out for 15 years, I think. There's a bunch of folks, Joe Justice being one who is kind of the guru. He's written books, I think, and done articles and certainly done YouTube videos on agile methods of manufacturing. And basically the idea of agile manufacturing. Well, okay, let me go back. Just take a minute to explain this. Back in the 50s, the United States had I'm going to forget his name right now. You can put it in the comments below if you want to fill in the blank here. But we went over to Japan and we went to our companies in the United States and we said, look, You want to make the product at the highest level of quality that you can. And if you make a product with quality being the number one consideration, that quality is free. In fact, it might even be profitable. And the reasons for that were not known at the time. The quality issue being free or quality was looked at as a cost. If I'm going to add this quality, that's a cost. But it turns out that it's free, and in fact, it can't be profitable for a whole host of reasons. I'm not going to go into those today because they don't matter to this particular conversation. What matters is agile manufacturing has now taken that to the next level. And the concept of agile manufacturing is quickly iterating on a product and making changes in the product in order to improve it is free, or in fact, commonly profitable. So as a manufacturer, as a plastics manufacturer, I have a mold. The mold costs me $20,000, $25,000 for this mold. And if I want to make a change in that mold, I might have to start over and spend another $25,000, or I might have to take it down, have my equipment down for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks while somebody fixes or changes that mold. So my inclination is to keep running that mold and keeping the product the way it is, because I don't want to have those losses. Agile manufacturing says, take the mold down and fix it right now, or go out and have another mold built as soon as you know that you can make a better product, because ultimately you're actually going to make more profit having done that than you would if you continue to make the junky, and now by comparison, junky product. So that's agile manufacturing. And according to Joe Justice, the guru of agile, Tesla is beyond agile. Whatever they're doing today takes agile and masters it and then goes beyond it. So that's a whole nother video. We maybe talk to Joe Justice someday and have him on to talk about how Tesla has gone beyond agile. And then number one on this list, remember there's 10 more. You can find the link to the video below. There's 10 additional. These are the number 11 through 20. So there's 10 that are bigger reasons than these of why I'm fully invested in Tesla. So number one is the massive potential upside with low downside risk. Any smart investor is looking for the perfect combination of those two things. If I was not in Tesla today and I wanted to take my $12.95 and invest it in some other company, I would be looking for maximum upside potential with minimum downside risk. And sometimes you're going to say, okay, I'm going to go for a company that has a potential to give me a return of 7% a year, but it has only a 1% downside risk. And then in another time in your life, or maybe your personality is different, I want a company that's got a 20% upside potential, but it has a 2 or 3% downside risk. So you're going to make these decisions based on your personality, based on the time in life, et cetera, et cetera. Well, my time in life, and I'm old, is that I have play money. Well, it's not quite play money anymore, but let's just say it's not. If I lost it all tomorrow, it wouldn't be the end of the world. My lifestyle would not change that much. In fact, it wouldn't change at all. So the money that I've invested is play money. I want the absolute maximum upside potential. I'm okay with risk, but if I can find a company that gives me all of that and has almost no downside potential, well, what do I mean by no downside potential? Oh, well, I have a company that's throwing off $3 billion a quarter in free cash flow and already has $22 billion in the bank with no debt. That's a company with very low downside potential. So if everything went wrong, if you had a horrible depression, if you had an asteroid hit the world, if you had a pandemic that really did wipe out, 5 million, 10 million, 20, 30, 40 million people, Tesla would be in a better position than the vast majority of the publicly traded companies on earth to weather that storm, to find a way to get through that, because who has $22 billion sitting in the bank, so to speak, with no debt? So maximum upside potential. Oh my gosh, there's no company on earth. If you can show it, please put it in the comments below. Is there another company on earth who you can say without laughing, without a snicker at all, has the potential to do 1.5 trillion in sales by 2030, 1.5 trillion per year in sales by 2030 with just the operationally successful products they already have. If you can find another one that is anywhere close to those numbers that's possible by 2030, please put it down in the comments. So those are my 10 through 20, my 11 through 20 reasons for being all in on Tesla stock. If this has been useful to you in any way, please like, please comment, join Patreon, be a part of that. It's really going to be important. Okay. Hey, it's been great talking to you today.
Click the link below to get your paperback, Kindle, or audiobook now.